educate the fans on this. Before a fight is getting made, let's say you're someone like a Canelo, or a Tank Davis or whatever, and what's the thought process? The promoter, whoever presents what? They go to the fighter, say, hey, we got some big money fights for you, or someone of that caliber. How does it go? How does it go?
What they do is they justify, and they figure out who's the best draw for who can generate the most amount of money, where they don't have to pay the guy crazy money. Okay. So in other words, Crawford and Canelo, you're going to have to pay crazy money to. Okay. But they could get somebody to fight Canelo, let's say, for like 7-8 million, where they might have to pay somebody else 12.5 or 13 or 14 million. So they have to justify in their minds, will this guy, for the additional $5 million, will this fight do $10 million more in pay-per-view buys and at the gate in total revenue? So you have to justify everything. And, you have to figure it out. It's a balancing scale, and it's very, very hard to figure out. You've got to know the marketplace. You've got to know ticket sales. You have to know pay-per-view. You have to know international sales, what certain guys mean to sponsorships and international sales. In other words, like if Boots fought Crawford, there'd be hardly any international sales. Where if Boots fought Conor Benn, there'd be huge international sales and huge UK sales in the UK in particular. So it depends on who you're fighting. It's very important.
So basically, a lot of fights that don't get made on a big scale, it's because, like you said, they look at everything. So from what you're explaining to me, these are all of the things that go into the decision-making process, so to speak.
Right. So in other words, what that basically means is this, okay? So let's say they can give Charlo $12.5 to $15 million to fight Crawford. I fight Canelo. Now they're going to have to give Crawford $25 million or more.
Canelo?
So they have no Crawford to fight Canelo.
Okay.
For Crawford to get. So let's say they have to give him $25 million. They've got to justify, is he worth $12.5 million more? And then Canelo's got to think to himself, if I fight Crawford, will I get it? Will the pay-per-view percentages kick in besides my guarantee of $33.5 million? Is a percentage is going to kick in, or will they give me more money on a guarantee to fight Crawford? Will they give me $40 million? So now the promoter's got to add another, about $7 million in there besides Crawford. So he's got to say he's got to do more than $19.5 million in profit and gross profit to make any additional amount of money. So you got to weigh all these things. It's very, very, it's not cut and dry like people. You don't just call people, hey, you want to fight Canelo? You've got to justify all these figures.
So it's not as simple as, okay, let's say I got a fighter by the name of Pork Chop Willie, and he want to fight another fighter by the name of Hog Head Cheese. If Hog Head Cheese has a team and Pork Chop Willie have his team, it's not as simple as, hey, Pork Chop, what's up, Hog Head? I want to fight you. Well, let's fight. It's not as simple as that. That's what you're saying?
No, it's very complicated, and it to sit here and explain to people exactly how it's figured out. I'm doing the best I can on a short period of time, but if you really, that's why negotiations take months sometimes, because not only are they talking to one guy trying to figure, they're also trying to have somebody in the background as a backup just in case they can't get the guy at a reasonable figure. So the fight still goes off on time. It's very, very sophisticated.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.